All right, we are live. What's happening, everybody? Mark Harbert here from markharbert.com. I'm very, very excited. I've got another interview with a top leader online, somebody I've known for a couple years now, but just watching his success over the last year and a half has been amazing. It's been fun to watch, and I'm very excited to have my good friend, my buddy, my guy I love, getting in there with all the time, my buddy Terry Gremaux. What's up, Terry?
I appreciate it, Mark. It's such a pleasure to be on right now. And if anybody's listening right now, make sure you go to markharbert.com. And Mark's one of the, to me, when I think about Mark, I think about the way I connected with him was he's just such a giver. He just wants to give. And if you're in any kind of lead situation, you want more leads, I mean, Mark's the dude. So I'm just so privileged to be on here with. Hopefully, I give your audience a little bit of what I bring to the table, and just you're in the right spot, guys. Just keep following what Mark does. He's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. Appreciate that. And well, I think one of the things that I wanted to do here was to just sit and chat with you, but I would love for you to give us a little background, Terry, on your story, because I think your story is really amazing, and a lot of people may not know it. Sure. But I just love hearing the story of how you were just hungry, man, and you came from pretty much nothing and went on to build a multiple six-figure business.
Yeah, it's crazy. I come from, Lewistown, Montana, central Montana, where literally, there's more cows than people. So conversation wasn't something I needed to master. Like, I remember the old dial-up days. We didn't have, my mom still has to run off of a Verizon wireless card. She still doesn't have internet to her house. Imagine that. Like the cable doesn't run by her house, right? But long story short, my dad told me to grab my lunchbox and go to work, basically. And that's what I did. I was an underground miner for several years, making six figures a year at that time. But health reasons, being away from my family all the time, obviously it's not the safest thing you could possibly do. Is kind of crazy. So I wanted to go into the sales field because I wanted to do something different. I didn't do it. Anyways, long story short, I was making $35,000 a year and couldn't, as you know, when you have two kids and $35K a year doesn't do too much. Then I just wanted to do something different. And I remember, just remember always having this, and it took me 7 years, 9 different companies in 7 years. I struggled mightily because I didn't do the right things. It wasn't the company's fault. I was with a lot of amazing companies, a lot of amazing leaders, Todd Falcone being one of them. I mean, I was with a lot of good leaders, but I wasn't ready. And I finally, it was just, you just get to that point. I think all of us entrepreneurs just, your story is kind of the same way. You just get to that point where you're just like, I'm freaking done. Like, I'm going to go do this thing, right? I don't care what happens. And so I went to, got invited by Ray Higdon to an event of his, and every time I give him money, I make more. So at that point, I didn't know Ray, but I had, about $600 in my pocket, had to put $500 down on a coaching program. And, I remember going in my room that night, and I didn't hand my application in that day. And I just said, God, just tell me something. Like, tell me, I feel like this is the right way to go, but logically it's not, right? So just tell me that, like, I'm willing to jump, I'm willing to trust you, but like, tell me. And I walked down that morning and somebody introduced me to a guy and he said, will you coach me? And I was like, I didn't have a coaching program at the time, right? But I sat back and I was like, yeah, I'll coach you. Like, from that moment, I had 2 other people do the same thing. And from that moment, I'm like, I'm there. When you come off stage and you have people with tears in their eyes saying you changed my life, like, it's just different. So From that moment forward, it's crazy. That was 18 months ago. I have like chills running down my spine right now. It's crazy. And we did $270K last year, and I believe we'll do $1 million this year. Awesome. I know we'll do $500,000 for sure, but I believe we'll do $1 million this year. So that's kind of the short story. Just know that I'm not special. I'm not, I put on my pants the same way you do. And if you want this thing, the one thing that I can't teach you, I can't teach you how to want it. I can't teach you hunger. I can't teach you to keep grinding. I can't teach you that. It's in the first chapter of Think and Grow Rich. I can't teach you that. But but if you have it, you're going to go get it done. And that's what my story's all about.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think, knowing your story and mine, I think one of the big things that people, especially people that have been in your shoes and my shoes,
Sure.
there gets to be a point where you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. And
Totally.
you've been going around in circles for a while, and you're wondering, why has this not happened? And it's
Sure.
like a switch goes off.
Right.
And some people just have to get to, I remember getting to the point where I was just pissed that people were succeeding and I wasn't.
Right.
And I don't know, it's like just this internal switch came on and I just went balls to the wall and started happening. And I know you can relate to that.
Yeah, I remember just thinking, I was at Ray's event in 2014, Top Runner Academy. I was on stage, but I literally was broke. Like, nobody knew that, but I was completely, I had to borrow money to get home. It was that bad. And I just remember, like, I'm not living my life this way anymore. It's like I only have so much time and I'm not doing this anymore. Like, I'm done. I don't care what it takes. At the time I was playing billiards, pool all the time. I went to the International World Championships several years in a row. Like, I was good. That's what I did. And I said, I literally dropped everything when I came home. I quit my team. Like, well, I finished that season because I don't believe in that. But then I just quit. I'm done. I'm not playing anymore. And I just put my head down. I said, I know I'm not Ray Higdon. I know I'm not crazy like that, but I'm going to go get this done my way. And, we continue to reinvent ourselves all the time. And the one thing I'll tell you guys is it all starts, everybody asks, like, well, what was it? It was a freaking decision. I decided that I was going to go make it happen in a moment. That happens in a moment. It's not like 10 years away. It might take you 10 years to come to that decision. But if you decide, like, the law of attraction is the law of attraction, you're going to have things come into your life that cause you to go to the next level. And that's why I believe Ray was put into my life, that and I think the universe, I'm kind of crazy, but I think the universe puts things into your life that are scary, that are uncomfortable, that are going to get you out of your comfort zone. And if you do not take them, you're going to pay for them down the road. That's just the way I think. So at that moment, I decided that day, like 2 months later, I had a $25,000 month. So how do you go from zero to, like, you decide, I'm going to go get this done. Nothing is impossible. So you're exactly right. You just get to a point where you're like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm better than this. I'm if that guy can do it, I can do it. I'm going to go make this happen. And it's just a mindset of fierce, like, it's like you have a daughter. It's like somebody's, beating up your daughter and you're like, I'm done. Like, that guy, like, I'm done. You're not beating me up anymore. Right. And so that's the best way I can explain it. And from there on forward, we've obviously created something pretty special.
Well, there's something that you just said that I think is very important to recognize. And that's that you really kind of came to a realization that nothing worthwhile is comfortable.
Right.
Anytime you pursue something, it's not going to be comfortable in the beginning. Right. And it's because you have to get outside the comfort zone if you want to make things happen. Right. And I think what happens is people get to a point, and, keying off of your story here, where the thought of being uncomfortable is not as bad as the future of the future that they see. Right. So getting uncomfortable then becomes, you know what? I've got to do this. I've got to get uncomfortable. And people spend years avoiding getting uncomfortable. And that's why they sit there and eventually either they quit or they go on to really rock it out. So that's an important thing.
Yeah, I think that, we got to understand how our brains work. Your brain is meant for one thing. It's meant to protect you. So that's all it's doing. So uncomfortableness for your brain is that's its job, and it's very, very good at it. Okay, your brain is very good at protecting you, telling you, no, that's scary, no, something might happen, something bad might happen. And what I think is some people think, well, that's God talk. No, that's God's in here. He's in your heart, right? He's like, that's different. Like, the universe is that's different. If you listen to your brain, you will always not do big things, because it's protecting you. It's going to tell you, no, don't go ask that girl on a date. She might tell you no. It's going to tell you, like, no, don't go launch that product. What if nobody buys it? It's going to tell you, what if you fail? Like, that's its job. And we got to understand that's the way our brain works. But I tell my coaching clients all the time that pain, I don't care what it is, but you can use pain to your advantage. So what I always tell people is list down, and this is one of the most powerful exercises I've ever done, list down what happens if you don't do it? Like, right. What happens if you don't do it? What happens if you don't do it to your son, your daughter? What happens if you don't go crush that deal? What's going to happen? What's going to happen to your legacy? Are you just going to be another one of those mediocre dudes? Like, I didn't want to be that guy, right? What's going to happen? Like, powerful stuff. Like, oh, I'm never going to be able to leave my job. I'm never going to be able to take my kids to Disney. I'm not going to be able to buy a college education for them. I'm not going to be able to buy the house that I want. And I look at that list of pain, and I think all of us people that are successful, we're more fearful of what will happen if we don't hit that level. It's all motivated by fear. It's just how you use it. So, if you use fear in a positive way, you'll never stop. People ask me why I do so much content. Like, I do a Periscope and a Facebook Live and a blog pretty much every day. Like, why do I do that? Because I'm scared that, and this is powerful, my fear is that I'm going to die with the music inside me. So it pushes me every day to go get my message, my little message out there to whoever I can. Because if I impact one person, that's why we're here. So, right. You just need to look at your pain and your fear a different way. Cause then looking at the phone to pick it up or looking at, Facebook ads or whatever, that's not a big deal anymore when you're looking at this list of what's going to happen if you don't. Absolutely.
No, great points. Well, let me ask you this, Terry. Since I've known you, you've always been kind of the recruiter / prospector, guy. And what was it that made you really start to focus on that? Because I think you've done a phenomenal job. Sure. You have some great techniques that you've done. You've sure. You've taught a lot of students of your own. Sure. What is it that made you really start to focus on that? Was it because it was your strength, or you just knew that was what you needed to focus on?
I never was good at the marketing world. I was never good at crafting sales messages and creating leads like you do. I actually have a guy within our company that we've created that helps me do that now. That's just not a skill that I'm really good at. So yeah. I felt that I'm not a hard closer dude, but I felt that I've always had a serving heart for people. And if I can get on the phone with them, I generally can find out what their problem is and give them a solution. And so when and Gary Vee says this a lot, of course he's launching a new book today, but he says, once you find your strength, you should stay in that strength and you should drive it home. And once I figured that out and didn't try to do everything, I can bring somebody in, compensate them to do, what you do. But why would you do that? You're really good at it. You love it, right? I probably could have got good at that, but I just knew that, I don't know, it's just kind of like, an energy thing, a calling that I was good at getting on the phone with people and finding out what their emotional pain is and finding a solution for that. So right. I just really, really focused on that because I was good at it, and I can, I like it. I enjoy getting on the phone and I get enjoyment out of impacting people on that level. So yeah. It's just something I was good at. So I just continued to do it over and over and over again, whether I'm on social media or on the phone or wherever.
Right. Yep. Absolutely. No, that's awesome, man. And so what was it that helped you to really strengthen yourself in that area? Because obviously you went toward it, you really started pursuing it. What is it that helped you keep getting better and better and better at it?
What caused me to get better and better and better at it is I realized that not everybody is, is the Cesar Rodriguez or the Ray of the world. Like they're hard closers, they're good, and I just can't be that dude. And I was trying to be somebody that's a red personality, just like I'm yellow. I'm a careful dude. I have a serving heart. That's what I want to do. So what really allowed me to do that is obviously a lot of personal development and getting better within myself. But number two, knowing that I was worth it. And number three, knowing that if I just come at somebody as I'm serving them and not, what can I sell you, right? But I'm serving you and I want to find a problem for you. And so I can find that solution because I don't want you to be in pain the rest of your life. People, number one, are going to love me after they buy something. That's the best thing in the world for somebody. Like, they buy something and they're like, thank you for, like, we have coaching packages that are big coaching packages, and like they pay 5 figures a year to be in them, and they'll come and people will come and thank you for introducing me to that, and thank you for getting me to buy. And like, that's the best. We have that a lot because we get people to love that about us. So so what got just getting on the phone and make thousands of dials and learning how to influence people, not sell them. I really have became a master, I believe, at getting people to do the things that I want them to do and having them love it. Yeah. Whether it's buy my product, whether it's click on something up above, whether it's whatever, I've learned how to influence people on a super high level without being, I can't be the like the Ray, the Caesar. So if you're not that guy, or that girl, don't try to be somebody you're not, because you'll come across fake. Yeah. And you'll come across, just like you say on video, be yourself. Don't try to be me. Don't try to be, Mark. Don't try to be Ray. Don't try to be whoever. Be yourself. And I think that that's what's helped me, along with obviously a lot of personal development and taking things from courses that, not taking the whole thing, but taking that little tip that I can put into who I am and how I bring people to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree 100% with you. I mean, one of the biggest things, when people hear like recruit and close, they immediately say salesy, They think salesy. Right. And really, and I've been around long enough, and I've gotten on the phone hundreds and thousands of times with people, and, people have signed up for my programs and my coaching, and I never sell people. Never. All I do is get on, find out what their needs are, and see if I can meet their needs. And a lot of people have this idea that you've got to like twist people's arm, boiler room them into buying. And that's not what your goal is. It's like you said, when you get people to a point where they buy from you and they're so pumped that they bought from you. I'll give you an example. Last year, my wife and we bought a car. And we went into the dealer, and the guy was just like, what do you want? What are your needs? And we just kind of told him what we wanted, showed us the car. It's like, dude, this is exactly what we wanted. Great price. Awesome. We love it. Never been happier buying a car. It was the best car buying experience I've had. Right. Because the guy did a great job not selling it.
Right. Right. Yeah. If car, most used car salesmen especially aren't like that, but if if you walked to them and they said, well, why did you buy that car? And you told them, well, it had this and this and this, and oh, well, why are you buying a new one? And just asked those 2 questions and went and said, hey, this one has this, this, and this, and listed everything that you wanted back to you, you would be happy, you would buy it, you would go sign the paperwork, there would be no ill feelings, there would be no, you think so many people are worried about the sale that you need to connect with people. People still buy from people. It'll never change. No matter if it's in a sales funnel, you need to connect with people. You need to get into their emotional side. You need to find a reason. You need to get them to tell you why they want to buy. And, most people just don't understand that. They see, I don't like to be sold. None of us do. We hate it. But we love to buy when it's buy. Everybody's like, I bought that and it solved this problem. It doesn't matter if it's a girl with a curly thing in her hair or they go on Facebook, they post it everywhere. Like, that's what we do when we find something cool that solves a problem. And so if you do that, number one, you're going to have more fun. And when you have more fun attached to the process, you're going to do it more often. And number two, you're obviously going to be way more effective and bring more people into your team.
Well, you think about this for a second. If I go to a car dealer and I say, this is the idea I have of what I want. And they say, no, you want this.
Right.
And they start cramming this down your throat because it's better for them.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll make a little bit bigger of a commission because if you buy this one and you're like, no, I want this. And then they armchair you into getting this. What's going to happen? The expectation of the person's going to be upset. They may buy, but they're going to be pissed off that they did it after.
Yeah.
It's just, you have to go with where the energy of the person is.
For sure.
And if you can form it to fit that need, you're right in there.
Totally. And I teach people how to literally ask their prospect a question that the prospect literally can't say no to. If they do, they're literally stupid. Like they can't say, like if I find out that Mark wants to spend more time with his daughter and he's working 80 hours a week and I come back to Mark and I say, Mark, after I've developed rapport with you, I say, Mark, hey dude, if I could show you something to spend more time with your amazing daughter and maybe in the next 6 to 12 months potentially get out of that job you're in, would you want to take a look at it? Like, you can't. It's like, okay, you have cancer and I got a cure for it. Like, do you want to try it? Like, you can't say no to, like, you can't.
Right.
And see, most people are so into scripts that they don't listen. You need to listen to people, and I just take whatever they tell me and I feed it right back to them, because your network marketing company or, your affiliate opportunity or whatever you have can solve any one of those needs for people, whether it be money, whether it be more time, I just craft it in a way that they literally can't say no. And if they do, they're just wishy-washy and they're just not the right person. But, that's why we have such a high closing percentage, because I listen and I'm not afraid. I just position it so they can't say no. Because remember, our brains work in pictures. So when I just talked about his daughter, Mark has a picture of by the beach or their last experience together, or if he's working, he might have a picture of being at work and seeing that picture on the desk and not being with his daughter. Well, that pain just jumped up. He sees that, and now he's like, that's how our brains work. So if I want to twist the knife with somebody, I just talk about the things that I make their mind bring up the picture that makes them freaking in pain, right? So it doesn't matter what it is. I just say, and on a follow-up, I'll come and I'll say, hey, Mark, are you ready to start spending more time with your daughter? Why don't we get started? I don't say, let's get started. That brings up I don't want to spend money. But if I talk about his daughter previously, he's like, yeah, dude, I'm ready. Like, let's go do this thing. How can we make this happen? It's different, and it's so easy to do if you listen.
Well, I had a mentor many years ago who said, if somebody has a pain and you have the antidote and you can show them that the antidote is going to cure that pain, they don't care what it costs. They will pay for it. And if you can show people their pain and remind them of that pain that they said they had, and you can marry your product or service to it as the solution. Totally. That's what this is all about. And so really, you've done an amazing job with that. And I think that's awesome. Now, real quick, man, let's talk a little bit about what you got going on, man. I know you've been doing some amazing stuff. Sure. I mean, over the last year, I know you've done some incredible training. One of the things I love that you did was your recruitathon. I've never seen anybody do that. That was amazing. But you got some new cool stuff going on. Let's talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, based on the same subject, I thought I don't see a lot of courses or training out there teaching people how to influence, teaching people how to really the whole game of closing. Now I see some courses on how to, like, the exact script you say, and you say this to this objection, but I never saw anything how to really develop rapport and how to position something in front of somebody that they couldn't say no. So I put a course together called The Art of Phone Conversion, 3 simple steps to make more money in every phone call. And I'm an introverted dude. I'm a caring dude, but I'm an introverted guy. I don't like big crowds. I used to be fearful of the phone. I'm not like the Grant Cardone of the world that just like killed everything, right? That's not me. So I thought, why don't I put everything I do into a course? There's 75 videos in there on literally everything I do, how I create rapport. Number one, the first section is on why you don't pick up the phone. If you don't understand the psychology of why you don't go create leads, or why you don't get on Facebook, or why you don't pick up the phone, I can teach you strategy all day long, and you're not even going to hear it, because your brain's going to say, well, I'm afraid of that. Your brain's going to say, well, what if Nancy, my mom, says I'm crazy? What if I don't take care of that stuff? So there's 12 videos taking care of literally every issue that you could ever have about picking up the phone. So you're actually in the position to receive the strategies that I go through. So the first part of the course is all about that. And then I go into every nitty-gritty detail on how to get somebody to like you, how to create rapport, how to find a commonality, how to feed their pain directly back to them so they cannot say no, what to do on the appointment, how to follow up, my 3 voicemail script that literally took my closing percentage up probably 30-40%. I mean, there's literally everything in there. How to schedule We also this is pretty cool. I put the closer's score sheet together, and what it is I put everything that I think needs to happen in order for you to have rapport with somebody, in order for you to have them say yes. And so if you go through a call and oh, they said no, or they didn't answer, it's designed so you can go back to this score sheet and say, oh, that's what I didn't do. Like, because I don't care how long you go through a course, you have to get into action in order for things to happen. We put everything in an MP3 file so you can download it to your phone and listen over and over and over again. So it, so you get it embedded into your mind. I mean,
awesome.
I literally wanted this course to be something that if somebody got it, they literally would, they never would have to look anywhere again. Yeah. And then we put a private Facebook group where I'm going to tell people they can record their calls. I'm going to go through their calls for them. We did everything. This course is so freaking amazing. It's incredible. And I think it's going to change a lot of lives.
Yeah. It's what it's all about, man. It's about finding somebody who's good at what they're doing and find out what they're doing.
Yep.
That's really what it comes down to. And that's what this industry is all about.
Right.
My success and your success today is literally a conglomeration of different people finding out what they're doing and bringing it all together.
Totally.
So real quick, I wanted to point out, you've got some, a couple guides that you've created that people can get access to. Tell us a little bit about those guides and what you put in them.
Sure.
What they're about.
The first one, I'll just give you a couple here. The first one is, I call it 7 and Ice, and it's really, there's 2 PDFs that come with it, and I find the missing link in people is how do I start the conversation and how do I close it. The stuff in the middle is pretty easy once you get that far. So we put my 4 proven icebreakers in one of them, meaning how do I break the ice? How do I get somebody to like me so they open up so I can actually find their pain? Mm-hmm. And 7 ways to close more people. The 7 things you can do better. The 7 things that you can talk about. The 7 reasons why you're not closing more people, whether it be in your network marketing company, your affiliate opportunity, selling products, selling coaching. I don't care what it is. It's all the same. And then I find a lot of people go through this process where they are building rapport, they're doing everything right on the front end, but they're still not signing people up. Yeah. And there's 5 reasons why. And mostly if you cross one of these 5, you will not sign that person up. And so I put that PDF together as well, because I think that people need to, once you're in the game, you need to understand why things aren't happening right. We get frustrated, and even, there's people that are in action and they're like, I remember the days like, I'm doing everything right, but you're not. So I put a PDF together so you would know exactly what you're doing wrong. So yeah. I think that and those are obviously at no cost to you. I think that you'll have a lot of success with those, and that they'll help you on a great scale.
Awesome. That's great, man. So I'm going to put the link to that below, right below this video. I highly recommend. I got them, checked them out. I think they're amazing. Great stuff and very systematic. I love them. So I'm going to put that link below. You guys can check that out and get access to those. And, we're going to be doing a webinar here soon. I need to talk with you to look at the date again. I may have to change it up a little bit. So I will get the link down below with the date and stuff for you guys to get registered for that. Terry and I are going to do a webinar together. It's going to be a lot of fun. And, man, I got to say, man, I'm proud of you just to see what you've done over the last year and a half has been amazing. We've been able to mastermind together. We're a part of a, Diamond Mastermind with Ray, and, we've gotten to know each other over the last year and a half. And I know every time we get together, we chat and talk strategy and talk marketing and all that. And, it's fun to do, man.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you, Mark. And once again, guys, if you're watching Mark for the first time, I can't imagine that nobody out there knows Mark, but he's incredible. You're in the right spot. Keep following what Mark does, and you're absolutely 100% going to have success. So, Mark, once again, I appreciate you so much and what you do for not only the industry, but what you've meant to me in my life. And I appreciate everything you do out there, man.
Awesome. I appreciate that. And guys, definitely stay tuned. Click the link below, get those guides, and we'll have the link down there as well for the webinar. Make sure you get registered for that. It's going to be great. So, Terry, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming out. I know my audience is going to love this stuff. This is stuff that can really help you guys. You want to take advantage of it, put it to practice, and it'll certainly work for you. All right. All right, Terry. You rock, man. Love you, brother.
See ya.